This is my mega factory, and I need to start filling it with create mod machines as soon as possible. But you might be wondering, how do you get into create? Well, today I'm gonna walk you through all of the basics, probably right up to getting some serious power going. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna need is some andesite alloy. This stuff right here, it's made like this with some andesite and some iron nuggets. Use your andesite alloy to make some andesite casings. Andesite casings are made by stripping logs and hitting them with right-clicking with an andesite alloy, just like that. You want to make a bunch of these, and then we're going to move on to the next phase, which is our basic machines right over here. These are the basic machines. The way you're going to start this off is by making some of these water wheels right here. You want to make sure you have some water moving just beneath them so that they actually run and generate power. These will create a bunch of stress units, which we will then use to power our machines. Now, what you see after this is a gear ratio. And gear ratios are really cool because they allow us to actually speed up our large water wheels. So the way that this works is we get some andesite casings and we get our large cogwheels and our small cogwheels. Small cogwheels are made with a spruce planks and a shaft, which is made with 2 andesite alloy. The large cogwheel is the same thing, but just 2 planks. Now, the way that these gear ratios work is you always start big and then go to small. Big, small. And then if you want to increase the gear ratio again, you go big and then small. But as you see, it's not sticking. It's not working. It's not working because what we need to do is we need to add an andesite casing right there and then put the small one there. That way, these 2 gears don't connect. So then, same thing again. Big, andesite casing, small. Big, andesite casing, small. Just like that. And I have this running into these encased chain drives, which basically provide rotational power in the same direction all the way across. They come out here using shafts and attached to this mechanical press and this deployer. The mechanical press is made like this with a shaft, an andesite casing, and a block of iron. This, the deployer, is a little bit more complicated. The deployer is made with electron tube, andesite casing, and a brass hand. The electron tube is made with polished rose quartz and an iron sheet. The iron sheet is made by placing it underneath a mechanical press like so. Bang! Get ourselves the iron sheet. Next thing we're going to need is this polished rose quartz. You start off by getting a bunch of redstone dust and some nether quartz to make this rose quartz. And then you make some sandpaper with, shocker, sand and paper. And then you hold your rose quartz in your offhand and your sandpaper in your main hand, and you hold right click and you will start polishing up your rose quartz into polished rose quartz. Next thing you're going to need is this brass hand. The brass hand requires andesite alloy and brass sheets. Brass is usually made in Create by using a copper ingot and a zinc ingot in a heated mixing basin, like this. However, in our mod pack, we can actually use something called the primitive alloy smelter to make brass, which is actually really, really easy to make. It just looks like this. But for all the newbies out there, let's go through how to do this with Create. So the first thing you're gonna need is a blaze burner. The way you get a blaze burner, you make something called an empty blaze burner right here. One of these, it's 4 iron sheets and netherrack. I'm going to be bringing about 20 of them with me. We're going to take these empty blaze burners and we're going to go find ourselves a nether fortress. Alrighty, here we are. Once you find yourself a blaze spawner, you can find a nice safe place to put it. You can take your empty blaze burners and you can right click the blaze spawner. Just like that to get a bunch of blaze burners. Now that we've done that, we can go home. Now that we have our blaze burner, we're going to need a basin. One of these. We're going to need a mixer using a cogwheel, andesite casing, and a whisk, which is made like this. So the way I'm going to set this up is I'm going to get myself a gearbox. I'm going to make sure that it's facing the right direction. Like that. A cogwheel, like this. And then we're going to take our mechanical mixer and put it up there like that. And then as long as our basin is 1 block away, we should be good to go. We're also going to need our blaze burner underneath of it. Just like that. Now that we have this thingy, we're going to take some zinc and some copper. We're going to throw it both in there. And then we're going to heat this blaze burner with some coal or some kind of heating material. And then boom, it's mixing automatically for us. And that, as you can see in the top, is making our brass. Now we can take our brass and we can press it with our mechanical press to get our brass sheets. And that should be everything we need to make ourselves the deployer. Now at this point, you're probably getting kind of sick of making andesite casings, which is why I make this little unit right here, which is just a mechanical saw and 2 hoppers. The mechanical saw is made like this. It's very simple. The way that this machine works with these 2 hoppers is that you take your spruce logs, you place them in here, and they get stripped by the saw and go directly into this other hopper. The alternative that you can do with this is you can make a chute and a chest. Remove our hoppers. We can place a chute above our mechanical saw, and we can also place it on an angle just like that by attaching one to the side. We're going to put a chest up here, and then we're going to put a chest one below the floor, like this, and a hopper on top of that. And now we have a system that can hold a few more items and also will run a little bit faster. Now with these strip spruce logs, we can place them over here on this depot with our deployer. We need to get ourselves some andesite alloy. And we bring it back to our deployer with our strip spruce logs, and we place our andesite alloy in the hand, which is actually this little block right here, this little outline up here. It'll start automatically making us andesite casings, which is mighty, mighty convenient. At this point now, you should be able to make 4 different little machines. You should be able to make the mechanical saw and automate it to some degree. You should be able to make the mechanical press. You should be able to make a mechanical mixer with a blaze burner and a basin. You should be able to make the deployer with the depot underneath of it. And then the next thing we're going to be looking at is this guy right here, the encased fan. Now, the first thing you want to do with an encased fan is you want to make sure that it's spinning in the right direction. In my case, it's actually spinning in the wrong direction. And so we're going to want to fix that. And I think the way that we're going to do it is by removing these and replacing them with 2 cogwheels, like that. See, and now it's spinning the other direction. With cogwheels, when you place them on a power source, they'll spin the direction of the power source, but then the next one you attach to it will spin the opposite direction. So this one is going this way, the lower one is going this way, the next one will go the other way, and so on and so forth. Now that we have swapped the direction of our encased fan, we want to put lava in front of it. And for me, I can use this fan blasting catalyst from Create Connected. The empty fan catalyst is made like this. But if you're in the vanilla version of Create, you're going to want to place a normal bucket of lava right here. Just keep in mind that you don't want to have wood around anywhere. And also, you're going to have to use blocks to cover it that are non-full blocks. So things like trapdoors, fence posts, and stuff like that should be good enough for the air to pass through it. If you place a solid block here, the air will actually stop, as you see there. Now that we have our encased fan blowing through some lava, what we have here essentially is a smelter, or a really good one at that. So if I get myself something like a stack of raw copper, we can take that and toss it all in there just like that. Boom. And eventually, that whole stack all at once will get smelted into copper ingots. You can throw 10, 20, 50 stacks in here, and they'll all smelt all at the same rate, which is really, really handy. If you wanted to filter these into an item vault or some sort of chest or something, the way you would do that is with something called a brass funnel, one of these. The brass funnel is directional. You can see it with this arrow on the side. If you right click on it with a wrench, you should be able to change that just like this. You want to make sure that it's facing into the item vault or into the chest that you want your items to go in, and then you want to filter it. In my case, I'm going to filter it for copper ingots. The brass funnel, along with many of the other machines, have filters. And as long as that filter is set to something, the only thing that's going to be going through that funnel is those blocks. So we can place our raw copper in here, and it will get stuck on the brass funnel until it smelts. And then once it smelts, it's going to go straight on through. Now you should have a very, very basic understanding of how the Create mod works. We get power from large water wheels. We then up the gear ratio with cog wheels of different sizes. Then we run them through these machines like a deployer, a mechanical press, a mixer, and an encased fan. Now, you might be thinking, I'm running out of materials, Charlie. I need more stuff. Where's all the stuff? I thought I was making infinite iron and stuff like that. Well, you know what? You're gonna have to wait for that. And in the meantime, I've got a machine for you to make that's gonna help you get lots of materials really, really quickly. This baby right here is what we call a contraption. Essentially what it is it's a bunch of mechanical drills, which is made like this, attached to this shape with a plow and 2 deployers, as well as something called a cart assembler. Now, the cart assembler allows us to build contraptions, and I'm going to try to explain this as best I can. So if we place a minecart rail down and a cart assembler, and we take a minecart with a furnace and we put it inside of this cart assembler, we can now turn any block or set of blocks into something called a contraption. If we place a lever down here or power this cart assembler with redstone, now this cart and this block are linked as a contraption. And as you can see, they can move on their own. You can actually use this to pick up any kind of block you want, including things like spawners. Now, once we have our contraption built, we can actually pick it up with a wrench, and then next time we want to deploy it, all we're going to need is some rails, place it on the rails, and there you go, it's ready to go. And if you want to build machines with multiple sets of blocks, like this, you're going to need to glue these blocks together with something called super glue, which is made like this. You're going to right click, and as you can see, all these pieces are gluing together. You are not going to glue these to the cart assembler, just to themselves. And then when you give the cart assembler with the minecart some power, it's all going to pick up. Here, you can see it. You can actually see it shift up a little bit, and that's how you know it's one big machine. And now, just like before, we can pick it up and take it wherever we want to go. Some key things of note here. When a cart is in its contraption mode, it's not exactly treated like normal blocks. So for example, our minecart contraption, our blocks will pass right through other blocks, just like that. But if we do something like turn our cart assembler back into original blocks, the contraption will break any blocks that it's coming in contact with. This is good to know because you can very easily accidentally destroy large portions of your base like that. So, be careful. Use at your own risk. So if we come back to this guy over here, we're going to take our super glue and we're going to glue our contraption together, making sure not to have any extra pieces of glue gluing stuff like the ground, because then that will move with our contraption. Then right here, we're going to put our rail, we're going to put our cart assembler, and then we're going to put our minecart with furnace, and then turn this on and pick up the whole machine. Now, if you don't want your machine to turn at all, and usually you're going to want that if you're making something like a mining machine, what you want to do is lock rotation. That way it will hold the rotation in a certain direction. You just hold right click here and you can change the settings. Now, the way that this machine works is that all these mechanical drills will break through the earth. These 2 deployers is probably the most complicated bit. These 2 deployers, using their filters, will place blocks at every block that it comes in contact with. So to make this work, we want to make sure that our deployer is 1 full block away from the block that we want to be placed. So for the minecart track, we want it to be placed right here in front of our minecart so that it places its own minecart tracks down. We want this to deploy cobblestone so that if it goes over a ledge or a gap or a cave, it can just automatically build its own bridge. This... What is wrong with you? Go away. This mechanical plow will actually pick up the rails as they pass through. Now, one more thing we're going to need for this contraption is storage. And you can use regular chests, but for me, I'm going to be using a sophisticated backpack. So our diamond backpack is going to have to be glued to our contraption. And one of the cool things about using a sophisticated backpack instead of something like just regular Minecraft storage is that a sophisticated backpack can use stuff like stack upgrades, which can multiply the amount of stacks that can be placed in one slot, and a void upgrade, which, as you can see right here, can automatically void things like cobblestone, cobble deep slate, and gravel, so that we're only getting the good stuff in our contraption. Let me pick this thing up, bring it downstairs, and give you a quick demonstration. Now, if I place down my minecart contraption and I power it, and I power the minecart with furnace with some coal, it will automatically start moving forward, and it will start breaking down any blocks that are in front of it. This deployer here will automatically place rails so the minecart can keep moving. This deployer right here will actually place blocks so that it can keep going over gaps. And then our plow removes the rails and automatically places them back into our inventory so that the minecart contraption can keep using it. So this can basically run indefinitely. However, you're gonna want to keep an eye on it, because if it goes into lava or something like that, you may end up with something that's difficult to recover. Keep that in mind when you're building your minecart contraptions and setting them loose on the world. One thing that's useful to know about the minecart contraptions is that you can also rename them. So if I stick this in an anvil, I can call it my mining machine. And then we can use that again at a later date, just by leaving it in my inventory right there. Alrighty, now we have gone through a lot of little details, and if you need any help with those things, be sure to just say something in the comments and I'll try my best to help you out. But for now, we're gonna move on to some slightly more difficult things. Namely, we want to get some power for our big factory over here, and some serious power at that. We don't want no water wheels. We don't want no basic water wheels. We're going to be building a steam engine. And not just any steam engine. We're going to be building one that's powered by lava. Lava-powered steam engines are not in base Create. Create Crafts and Additions and a few other mods will add this functionality where you can actually use something like a straw to power your blaze burners with lava. First thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to get ourselves lava. Lots of it, actually. An infinite amount of lava. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to need to find a lava source that has 10,000 blocks or more. So what we're looking for is a big lava pool underground. That's what we need to find. All right, here's our lava pool. For us, this is going to be more than large enough. We're going to want to build over our lava a little bit, then we're going to want to go about 100 blocks straight up. Or as high as we want to go. Ideally, kind of just under the surface, somewhere around there, maybe on the surface if that's what you want. We're going to have to go high up. As we go, we're going to want to be opening up 2 slots. One of these is going to be for our nerd pole. The other one is going to be for a hose pulley that we're going to be putting here later on. Relatively close to the surface. And this is where we're going to start building out a little room. Being careful not to fall into our very deep and very scary lava hole. Now that we got our little basic room here, we're also going to want to build a tunnel going to our factory. Now we're inside the factory, and back here in this corner, we have a hole that takes us directly over here to our very deep lava hole right there. And now that we have this all set up, we shall begin the core extraction and get a bunch of lava up here. Get a bunch of lava up here and into our base, and just have an awesome infinite supply of lava ready to go for us at any given moment. All right, so the first thing that we're going to need here is a lot of copper. We're going to need to get all this stuff smelted up. Next, we're going to need a hose pulley made with copper casing, dried kelp block, and copper sheets. Copper casing is made the same way that you make andesite casing, but instead of using andesite alloy, you use copper. But here's the thing. Right now, we've got this blasting catalyst with the lava in it. We don't actually want that. What we want instead is a campfire here. All right, now we're going to want a hose pulley. We're going to want some pipes, fluid pipes, these babies. We're going to want quite a lot of these. At least a stack, probably more. Mechanical pumps, these guys. We're going to want a lot of these too. Not sure exactly how many, but half a stack is good. We're going to need a lot of shafts, 2 water buckets. We're going to want a few water wheels. we're gonna want some fluid tanks. These guys right here. It's a barrel and some copper sheets. We're gonna make a stack of these fluid tanks for now, and we're actually gonna need more later, but for the time being, this should be more than enough. Okay, we're gonna probably want a handful of gearboxes. We're also gonna make some chain drives. All right, with all this stuff, I think we're about ready. It's a lot of work, but trust me, once we get this set up, man, it's gonna be hugely useful. Hugely useful. Okay, so now that we're down here, the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna get an infinite water source going, and we're gonna set up our water wheels. Next, we're gonna place down our hose pulley, and we're gonna put it right over our death hole. Now we wanna power this thing. We're gonna do something like that, and then something like that. And as you can see, our pipe starts going down, but it's very slow. It's very slow. So we want to speed it up. And we're going to speed it up with gear ratios like we did before. There we go. Now, as soon as this hits the bottom, I'm going to wait for it to stop. Boom. It stopped. I'm going to turn this the direction that I want it. I'm going to place a mechanical pump here like this. You can see the arrows. They're facing the direction I want them to go. I'm going to set it up right there like that. And then power this mechanical pump. And in theory, we should hopefully get ourselves an infinite amount of lava. All right, so currently if I come down here, you can actually see that our lava system is only one block down, which is a problem because it's only registering this one layer as being the amount of lava that we have, which is a lot less than what we actually have. If you take a look over here, you see this line of lava blocks that is like slowly disappearing. This is due to the mechanical pump pulling all the lava up. So what we got to do is we got to move this to the left a little bit. All right, now this time this will work. There we go, tapping the mantle. When you get this achievement, pump from a body of lava large enough to be considered infinite. That means that we have infinite lava. Now there's another way to check if you have infinite lava. If we take a look at this hose pulley, we'll actually get some extra information if we have the goggles. These guys, the engineer's goggles. If we make a pair of these, we should be able to actually see on the hose pulley if it's infinite or not. Now that we have all this set up, we want to build a little steam engine because we don't want this water wheel to power all of the mechanical pumps that push the lava all the way over to our base. The reason why we don't want that is because the water wheels create a lot of lag. We are missing something though. We're missing the actual steam engine itself. This thing, steam engine. And while I'm at home, I may as well make myself the goggles as well. Now we need a steam engine. We're gonna make 4 of these. I don't think we're gonna need all 4 for the time being, but we'll need them later on when we make our bigger steam engine, so we're not wasting resources to make it now. Hey, get out of here. Go away. Go home to your zombie parents. And tell them you're a bad boy or something. I don't know. This video is severely lacking in like jokes and silliness. I'm sorry. It's all business today. It's all just facts and knowledge. All right, now let's make ourselves a steam engine. Well, one of the first things we want to do is we want to make ourselves an infinite water source so that the steam engine has somewhere to take its water from. We should be able to place these mechanical pumps here like that. When we add our fluid tanks on top of it, that should all connect up together. We're going to end up with an issue. I also just realized that I did this completely wrong. It's like it's my first, my gosh, it's it's been a while, okay? Ignore the fact that this has water in it, all right? Just ignore that. Pretend like that's not a thing. What we want to do right now is we want to make ourselves an infinite water source surrounding this mechanical pump. I want to make sure the mechanical pump is facing towards our fluid tanks. And then we want to set it up for power. We have an infinite water source here. Make sure that whatever water block the mechanical pump is pulling from, that it is in fact an infinite water source, meaning that you have water on either side. Because if you have, say, 2 of these and they're both pulling from 2 separate sources on a 2x2 water source, you're going to end up with a problem where the infinite water source breaks itself and you don't get any more water. So you just want to keep that in mind. Okay, now we're going to hook this up just like that, and we should be getting water now. Yes, we are. Perfect. Next thing we want to do is we want to get some lava going in this thing. Dang it, I forgot another thing again. We need our blaze burners. We need 4 blaze burners. And not just that, we're also going to need 4 straws. These straws are made through a rolling mill. Take this rolling mill over to something that's turning. Anything will do, except for when it becomes overstressed. That's not good. So, because I didn't have enough power, I decided to slow down my system back here, which should allow for this to use that. Yeah, good. The less speed you have, the less stress units each machine will take. And now that we have our goggles, you can actually see that. You see kinetic stress impact, 256 SU. So stress units are the power metric for Create Mod. There are 2 main metrics. There's speed and power. Speed is how fast a particular machine runs and how fast your cogwheels spin. And stress units are how much power the machine requires in order to operate. If you have too many machines running, you'll overstress the system and it will stop completely. When you look at something and it says it's overstressed, you're going to have to up your power or you're going to have to lower your speed. All right, we got our straws and I got a few water wheels because I think we're going to need a little bit more power down there for our steam engine. Blaze burners out. We're going to place them in here and we're going to give them some straws. Look at that. You see, he looks like a little guy with a drink hat. It's cute, right? And we're going to take our fluid pipes and we're going to put them like that. And we're going to run them directly into our fluid container. But we also want to actually get lava out of our fluid container. So we're going to need a mechanical pump as well to move the lava from the fluid container into our blaze burners. Okay, now our blaze burners are full of lava. Everything should be working. The only thing we need now is to take our steam engines and plop them down right here. So you can also see how much stress capacity our boiler has. Currently it's at a level 4. Though it has more than enough water. It doesn't have a lot of heat and it has a solid size. Now, if we want to actually make this a little bit bigger, we can. I'm not sure that this is actually necessary, but it's just a demonstration to show you guys that it is possible if we needed to. All right, so I'm going to add some fluid pipes here, but I'm going to be careful not to have any open ends. If you have an open end, it'll spew lava out. It'll spew lava out, and you probably don't want that. So be careful when you're messing around with fluid pipes. Now we can get our fluid tanks out, and we can do one of these. Place this like that. 2. Ta-da! We now have an even bigger fluid tank. So this should produce quite a bit more power for us. And what it does is 147,000 kinetic stress capacity. That's going to be more than enough. So now we've got these steam engines. If we want to actually get power out of them, we're going to need to attach some shafts to them. And you can attach these in any direction you want. You can also turn them as well, which is quite handy. Each one of these steam engines only generates 16,000 SU of force. So if we have 147,000 SU of force, we would need to use a total of 9 steam engines on this in order to actually get the full amount of power out of it. Let's do it. We got the power. We may as well use it. We made the thing. Let's do it. There's something that's really important about the steam engines that you have to know if you're going to start building them. And it's that the steam engines cannot power themselves. You might be thinking, oh, I have more than enough power now. I could just operate all of this machinery with my steam engine and get rid of my water wheel entirely. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't quite work unless they fixed it in the Create 6.0 update. I don't know. Somebody let me know down in the comments if they did that. All right, now we've got our 9 steam engines set up. I just need to place the shafts in. And now we are operating at full power, and we can start using it as we please. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna place a fluid pipe down, and then underneath of it, we're gonna put a cogwheel so that it's operating, just like that. And now every 16 fluid pipes, we're gonna have to put another mechanical pump. Hello, this is Future Charlie here. So apparently the mechanical pumps, they can push and pull fluids about 15 blocks. So if you're going from a mechanical pump to a mechanical pump, you should be able to have 30 fluid pipes in between each mechanical pump. But if you're trying to push into, say, a fluid tank, you're gonna have to be within that 15 block range of your fluid pump. There are other ways we could do this. We could run an underground train to transport our lava. We could run a contraption to transport our lava. This is just the way that I find is the best for me because I don't have to think about it. Once it's set up, it's good to go. The only problem is that if you have to move the lava too far, it will break. But we shall cross that bridge when we come to it. For the time being, all I want is lava in my base. Now, all we should have to do is hook up the back end to our lava tank, and we should have infinite lava in our base. There we go. Look at that. If you right click on a pipe, you can see what's inside, and that is a beautiful thing. Now, this lava is not coming up as fast as you might have hoped, and we might need a lot more speed than this. And what we can do in order to speed this up, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna hook up another gear ratio to this. If we wanna max it out, we're gonna do this gear ratio until it doesn't let us do it anymore. See that? We're maxed out. So we only had to do it twice. That means this is the maximum speed right here. And there we go. We're now at maximum speed. Alrighty, we now have a pretty lag-friendly infinite lava source in our base. This will make producing more steam engines up in our base a breeze. Look at that, we got a massive lava fluid tank. We can make it even bigger if we make more fluid tanks. But I think for now what we want to do is we want to build 2 or maybe even 3 or 4 large steam engines here. All right, let's get going with some power, some real power. So as I'm building this, I ran into an issue that I want to share with you guys, and it's this. If you right click on one of these pipes, you can actually make it so that it doesn't connect with the pipe above it, but in a corner, you can't do that because they only stay straight. So the way that you deal with that is you set the corner pipe to how you want it to be, and then you put a copper casing on it. Once you put a copper casing over a pipe, it will stay the way that it is. See how they don't connect anymore? So it'll just stay like that. My create mod power is ready to go. Look at this, dude. Look at this. That looks so cool. With the lava and the water. Oh, that looks so sweet. The reason why I ran an individual line to each one of these is that I'm pretty sure, not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that we have enough fluids here to do 2 more. So I could probably do 1 on either side of this if we need to. And I think by the time we're done, this place is gonna look insane. And also my colony. I haven't even touched my colony since I've been doing all this create mod stuff. Let's go ask them what they think about the big factory next door. Hey Eric, what do you think about the new factory that's just come up next door?
I don't care about the factory.
What?
I need cobblestone to keep working. And I'm hungry. Can you please get me some food or build a restaurant? I can't focus when I'm starving.
I just gave you some food, bro. Now, please tell me. I just built this awesome factory next door. It's gonna get us a lot of cool, great materials. I want to know what you think about it.
I appreciate you building the factory, but right now, I'm really focused on my basic needs. I need food, I need cobblestone to work, and I don't feel safe in this colony.
Okay, I
Can you
just
please
fed
address
you.
these things first?
I'll do that. Sheesh, man. These guys hate their lives. I really need to focus on this colony and get these colonists to be like, somewhat happy, man. Somewhat happy. Oh, Sophia. Hey, Sophia, have you seen the new factory next door? It's gonna bring the town a lot of good resources and stuff.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I'm just not sure how much it's gonna help me personally. I'm still dealing with my housing situation, and I'm not feeling very safe here right now. It's hard to focus on anything else.
Oh my God, can you be a bit more like appreciative or something? Like the factory is gonna like bring prosperity to this town. I promise you.
I hear you, manager. I appreciate the effort to improve things, but my current concerns are making it hard to feel appreciative. I'm struggling with my living situation, and I feel unsafe here. I need those issues addressed first before I can feel positive about other changes.
All right, I'll look into those. I'll look into those issues for you. And don't call me manager. My name is Charlie.
Okay, Charlie. I'll remember that. Thank you again for your help with the housing and the food.
Great. Okay. Well, at least Sophia's somewhat satisfied. At least somebody around here is getting like something they want. Hey, Sina, have you seen the big factory? It's gonna bring this town a lot of prosperity.
I can't even think about prosperity right now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm starving and I don't even have proper housing.
Okay.
And I need cobblestone to get back to work.
Blah, blah, blah,
Could you
blah.
please address these urgent needs before we talk about the factory?
I will address your urgent needs like housing and food and all that other stuff. Just, I just want you to appreciate the cool factory. The factory is gonna help us get all of those things,
I understand the potential for the factory to help, but right now I'm struggling to even function. It's hard to focus on long-term benefits when I'm dealing with basic needs not being met.
Oh my God, these people hate that.
Can we prioritize the food and housing situation
Yeah, we can prioritize the food. We can prioritize the food. It's fine. Yeah, we can. You can. Let's talk to Ronald. Ronald is probably gonna have a great. He's probably gonna feel good about the factory. Hey, Ronald. Do you see that big cool factory over there? You're a wood chopping guy. You should love that thing. It's great. It's really great. And also, it's gonna help our town it's gonna bring our town a lot of prosperity.
I don't care about that factory.
Oh my God.
I need an axe to do my job.
Blah,
and I'm
blah,
hungry.
blah.
Can you deal with that
axe.
first?
Just punch. This is Minecraft. Just punch the trees. You can do it, okay? And if you're hungry, I can feed you. I'll feed you right now, okay? I'll give you an apple and some bread.
I can't punch trees to get wood. I need a proper axe, and food would be appreciated since I'm starving.
I gave you the food. I hope you're feeling a little bit better there, Ronald.
I don't have any food in my inventory. Manager, are you sure you gave me something?
Seriously?
I'm still feeling weak, and I need to be able to work properly.
Seriously? There you go, Ronald. I just gave you a bunch of food. How do you feel now?
Thanks for the food. I feel a bit better now, but I still need an axe to get back to work.
Okay.
A stone axe would be good for now.
All right. Fine. I'll give you a stone axe. I can't believe he actually knows that I didn't put food in his. He's getting mad at me because I didn't put food in his inventory. That's crazy. This colony. I need to really start focusing on this colony. And you know what? Maybe that's exactly what we're gonna do in the next episode. Focus on the people. You know what I'm saying? The people. It's the people that matter, not the machines, not the noise or the ridiculous amount of stress units we now have. None of that. It's the people that matter. The people. And you know what? I think that's a great sentiment to end this episode on. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see ya in the next one. And you know what? Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to messing around with the colony a little bit more in the next episode. And I also hope that this video brought you a bunch of knowledge, because it really started off as more of a tutorial, and then it sort of started shifting into a other stuff. But if you're new to Create, I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope I gave you the information in a concise and in a concise way.